Okay, this Ask Energy question is actually a really good one. Not that they all aren't really good, but this caught my attention because it's about electrolytes, and I have a lot of athletes asking me about electrolytes throughout the entire year. But let me put this in context. So as I'm recording this, it is October. So keep that in mind. It is the fall. Well, in the northern hemisphere, it is fall, right? Which means temperatures are getting a little bit cooler. Some athletes are rolling off their competitive season. We need to put the context into this whole thing about electrolytes, because really the question is this: do I need electrolytes year round? That was the question. Now, possibly is your answer, right? So let me get into this a little bit. Obviously, we know the importance of electrolytes, particularly sodium. Obviously, a full spectrum of electrolytes are super important: sodium, chloride, potassium, magnesium, calcium. Those are absolutely the Fab Five, I call them, absolutely necessary. Sodium is by far the most important one, but we know how important electrolytes are in competition season. So we'll leave that one aside. We also know how important electrolytes are as you're building up to your season, because you're starting to train more, you're really stressing your body and your muscles under stress a little bit more. So, preseason, preparatory, that's a great time to use electrolytes also. I kind of feel like we're kind of really answering or asking and answering this question based on an off season or as a transition season. So the question begs, do I need electrolytes now that I'm maybe done with my competition season? Well, here's the thing. There's two things I want to talk about here. One are the types of electrolytes, and two is the frequency if you use them at all. Okay, so let's start on the types of electrolytes. As you probably are aware, there are some electrolytes on the market that are super high sodium, like crazy high sodium. The right stuff, which is a liquid packet of sodium chloride, has almost 1,800 milligrams of sodium. It's a lot, right? LMNT or Element has 1,000 milligrams of sodium. And then it seems like there are all others kind of in between that, right around 200 to 1,000, maybe 900 milligrams. Totally depends, right? So I had actually an athlete ask me the other day, what's the best electrolyte? Well, there isn't a best electrolyte. It's what your body needs in terms of how much sodium you need. So if you're a super heavy sweater and you don't know your sweat sodium concentration, then you should probably dose with a higher level of sodium. Absolutely. So that was the first path I want to take, was just to make sure you understand that there are different types of electrolytes that have different amounts of electrolytes. And that's the key here, because to my point two, or my second path here, the question really begs, do you need electrolytes during a transition season or off season? Maybe not, right? Certainly, probably not the high levels that you may have been using during competition season. So if you've been using one with 1,000 milligrams, maybe come down to one that has more like 300, 200 milligrams, right? You don't need that many electrolytes in an off season if you are truly not training, right? If you're just exercising for fun, fitness, absolutely. You do not need high electrolytes most of the time. Now, here is my other point with this. Do you need electrolytes in the off season? The easy answer is no, as long as you're eating foods that actually have salt in them, right? So most foods, well, not most. There, if you eat a varied, balanced nutrition plan, right? Fruits and veggies and whole grains and lean proteins and all that great stuff, you're going to get all these different minerals, which are electrolytes, right? Sodium, chloride, potassium, magnesium, calcium. You're going to get those in your food. Now, here's the thing though, if you're not, like, maybe you're following a really low salt diet, right? Well, maybe you do need some electrolytes. Like if you are strictly eliminating salt or other electrolytes for some reason in your daily nutrition plan, I don't know why, other than maybe you're a salt sensitive, you maybe have salt sensitivity, hypertension, that's high blood pressure. Only about 5% of people who have high blood pressure are actually sensitive to salt. So maybe that's not you, right? So if you have a very low salt nutrition plan, maybe you use electrolytes sparingly throughout your daily nutrition plan. But listen, my message here is you probably don't need them unless, here's the zinger, unless during the off season, you just simply do not drink as many fluids and you need something else besides plain water. I see that all the time with athletes. Happens to me where I just get sick of plain water. Like sometimes during season, I'm loving water. I'm loving electrolytes. I'm loving plain water, like anything I can get my hands on, right? But in the off season, personally, I kind of just don't want to drink a lot of plain water. I need a little flavor there, right? And that is where maybe a lower dose electrolyte powder, drink, something like that can actually come in handy because it can still promote you consuming 3 to 4 liters of fluid per day, which is usually about the minimum I tell adult athletes to consume during the day. So here's the thing: if you go in off season, you're like, listen, I don't even want to touch water. I need something with flavor. I need some seltzer water or something like that. That's fine, right? Drink some milk if you want to, some tea, like whatever. But I would recommend a lower level, about somewhere between about 200 and 300 milligrams of sodium per serving for that electrolyte, just to help you and encourage you to consume fluids. You don't have to do it all the time throughout the day. In fact, I would limit electrolyte usage during the off season throughout the day. So I would say about 25% of the time that you consume fluids should be electrolyte, and about 75% of the time non-electrolyte. So again, you just want to kind of use it to augment your fluid intake during the off season. So hopefully that answers that question. It's a little bit more difficult just to say, hey, are electrolytes good or bad in the off season kind of a thing, because there are so many companies out there that they're doing great jobs in terms of providing us what we need in terms of low, moderate, or high levels of sodium. But we need to put it into context in terms of what our body needs and the time of the year. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next Ask Energy.